Don't panic, it's me. I had to trim up the beard. It was just too hot right now. I'll grow it back later for all you beard lovers out there. I am waiting on the inspector to show up for the rough in for the kitchen. We're kind of pushing to get the kitchen done specifically to make sure that it is ready for the installation here coming up in a few weeks. Then I'm gonna have to get the sheetrock on, finish up the floor, get this top bit all fixed up. We've been debating back and forth about how to light the area. So up on the top, we have two big can lights for the main area. We have this whole little drop down over top of the sink. And I also installed some wiring that's gonna go directly up underneath the underside of the cabinets for under cabinet lighting. That's gonna be controlled by an actual light switch. It should all be hidden and tucked up underneath so that it's not like a plug, you know, coming down, plugging into one of the outlets. Well, we're waiting for the inspector. This morning I went ahead and worked on the vent pipe here in the kitchen. This used to be behind cabinetry and it wasn't actually inside the wall. It was being held up top. So I have cut out some wood behind it so that we can push it and have it actually flat. So when we sheetrock this, it'll actually be a flat wall. This is where the old sink connection was. I've put a Fernco coupling in here. I still need to go down underneath and push the whole pipe back on the bottom so that you can also have a flat wall on the bottom of the wall as well. These old CPVC system is all gonna go away. I just don't wanna cut them yet until I'm ready to do the whole thing. The door going into the garage, my dad had just temporarily put in place just to block the heat because we do have the little window air conditioner running just to try to keep it below 90 in here. I went ahead and set this permanently. I added in a proper kick plate on the bottom to support the sill so that when you step on the edge, it doesn't bend or flex at all. The floor under the door, of course, is not level. So I had to shim up one side. That way it's a good solid base. And now it closes right smoothly. The inspectonator has come and gone. He said everything looks fine. I'm gonna go ahead and install these sheets of rock. These are some pieces that I had left over from another job. That's why they're the purple type. Usually you don't use this in the kitchen, but you know what? It's not gonna hurt anything having a little bit of extra protection from mold and mildew, seeing as it is a kitchen. I always try to remember, I don't always, but I try to remember to mark where the studs are. At this point, I got the two lights in the kitchen working, operational. Yay, lights. My dad is getting the first coat of mud on the sheets of rock on this wall. Next up, I'm going to be working on getting the sheetrock up on this and also filling in the gap down at the bottom where the old wall used to was. Just like that. It's not absolutely perfect, but it's okay because this is exactly where the island is going to go. So it doesn't have to be absolutely completely flat. We're going to end up putting new flooring over top of the whole thing anyway, so it's fine. Next thing I need to do is go ahead and cut the holes for the lights that go into the sheetrock before I put it in place so I can feed the wires down. I'll get that prepped and then I'll get some help lifting it up into place because that's going to be a bit tough. Okay, yes, right there is good. Right on the edge. Yep, hang on.
Well, move it out to the right.
To the right, to the right.
Other right. My right, not your right.
Here, put it in right there. It missed. I gotta get another screw, hang on. Yeah, it's in there.
No, it's gonna take more than
okay,
one.
on the end?
Put more on the end.
On the end of, which end? This one or that one? That piece of sheetrock is up and those lights work. Very good. I also got the little bits of sheetrock put back together here where the old wall used to be. I'm gonna have to match the texture on that ceiling, which is always a royal pain in the hindquarters. I've done it quite a few times, but it's never perfect. Thankfully, there's no pattern in this ceiling. It's just sort of stippled. So that's gonna be fun, trying to get that back together. I'm currently getting the layout for the can lights in the living room. Molly had a pretty good idea of cutting out some little representative circles. Well, these are almost representative. We're doing 6-inch, these are 4, but it's close enough. I strung a string up between the outside 4 can lights, their locations. Just put a screw up into the ceiling, which is a little nerve-wracking, because if it's wrong, then, well, now I have a hole in the textured ceiling. I can fix it with some painter's caulk and then paint, but I'd like it to be right the first time. The string enables me to make sure that I get all the ones on the inside in exactly the correct locations. We elected to keep the 2 existing spotlights that are shining down onto the fireplace. I think that's a nice little accent, and certainly not going to hurt anything to leave them in place. So after racking the whole thing, which means measuring crossways on both of the hypotenuses, it's 1/8 of an inch off. But over 20 feet, I don't think somebody's going to see 1/8 of an inch. So I think we're going to roll with that. I'm punching out the holes for the lights. This is the bit that I'm using. It is an adjustable hole saw thing. Works pretty well, actually. It goes from like 4 inches to 7 inches. So take out the screw and put the pilot bit right directly in where the screw was. That way it is in the same spot. And all the debris is held inside here. Works really well. Doesn't it always work that way? You spend a couple hours in the hot, sweaty attic running wires, and as soon as you're done, it gets dark and cloudy outside and cools down. That's how it always is. Okay, moment of truth. It is 7:30 p.m. Been working all day. I got all the light boxes wired up in the hot attic. I have a single light just sort of dingle-dangle in there. We're gonna flip the switch and see if it works. No, I'm just kidding. It works good.